I want to start by welcoming everyone. Welcome you to Finding the Right Program. My name is Tiffany James, and I am a first year graduate student in the master's program of public administration here at CSUB. I'm pleased to announce your speaker today, which is Katrina Gilmore. She is the director of Center of Career Education and Community Engagement. Thank you for joining us today, Katrina.
Thank you, Tiffany. And like Tiffany said, I am the director here at the Center for Career Education and Community Engagement Office. So our office is essentially the career center hub for both CSUB students and alumni. And so what we try to do is make sure that you're prepared to go out into the career world and take advantage of the opportunities that we have for you. So lots of our services include resume development, interview skill building. We put on career fair expos throughout the year. And we also will be having an upcoming graduate school fair coming up to get you into the right program that fits you. And so today we'll be actually going into detail on how to find the right program for graduate school. So I'm going to go ahead and share my slide here. Okay, so you want to ask yourself these questions about your passions and motivations into going into graduate school. So what do you hope to achieve by receiving a graduate degree? I know a lot of people go in to get some specialized knowledge in whatever field they're interested in. You could be changing your career trajectory. Definitely promotion and salary increase is a big reason for why students decide to go into a graduate program. But some also want to reach lifelong personal goals. So that's something that you definitely want to figure out, what is the real reason why you would go into a graduate school program. So when you think about deciding whether you're going to graduate school or not, you want to see how you define, where you're going to be in the next 1, 3, 5, or 10 years from now. What do you want your life to look like? If you're starting family, so if you look out, what do you value? So what is important for you to learn and live your graduate experience? If you're starting a family, can you balance doing school and family? We have lots of students that are currently working in their full-time jobs, but also thinking about advancing. So knowing what are some of the balances and sacrifices that you have to make in order to get the things done that you would like. And so those are considerations to take into account. And how do you learn? How do you process information in an academic or professional setting? As the pandemic and COVID taught us, we had to know how to be flexible in both an in-person and virtual setting. I know for myself, it's sometimes hard for me to learn virtually without having some kind of community or cohort with me in person. But I also was able to work virtually for at least 2 years. And so I now have learned new direction from there. Knowing how you learn and process information is going to be important when you're researching graduate programs. You want to definitely research the type of programs that you want to go into, and also figure out what kind of opportunities that it can create for you. So one of the things that we tell students to do is research the field that they're interested in going into by using the Occupational Outlook Handbook. The Occupational Outlook Handbook is a site where you can explore different occupations and then see what type of education is required for the role that you want to go into. If you click here, click into the industries that you're interested in going into, or you can actually search out your occupation here. So I'm going to click on community and social services. If you look down here, there's a list of different occupations that you can load and see what are the actual requirements for going into those fields. You'll see over here on the side, it tells you what the entry-level education would be. They do a median pay, and this is a national average, and this can change based on the state you're in. If you were to click on the occupation, you can go into a summary of what the particular job looks like, what they do, like what are some of the tasks that that particular occupation handles, breaks it out into different categories. You'll also be able to see how to become one, which is, education, if there's any certificates needed. You'll also see pay. And like I said, it can be broken out by wages based on what type of counselor in this particular case would be. Job outlook is important to see if it's a growing field. Will there be jobs in the future? In this particular case, it said it's projected to grow 10%. So this is a job that is, or career that's growing. This is something that you can use as a tool in order to research what field you want to go into. This is also another career exploration tool here. It's called the O-Net Interest Profiler. If you are struggling, so maybe some people usually know what career they're going into before they go into a graduate program, which is perfect. You need to know before you invest time and money what career you're looking for. But let's say you're still very much confused about where you want to go professionally. This interest profiler, mynextmove.org, actually does a survey of it asks about different work tasks, and it'll allow you to select things you like and dislike, and it pulls together a group of occupations that are based on the results you've given, and you can then explore each of those occupations. It also is pulling information from the Occupational Outlook Handbook, so this is a resource that is perfect for you. So I was going to go into a little bit of information here about the difference between your professional degrees and academic degrees. So a professional program or a professional degree is an applied program. Essentially, you'll see the examples there: medical school, law school, a master's of business, a master's of social work, marriage family therapist. This is going directly into an actual applied career. And then you'll see academic programs for graduate degrees. So these are more theoretical based. They're focused programs. The research is going to be kind of tied to a question about something that you want to research. Like a master's in sociology is the study of sociology, research based, more theoretically how you're going to put that together and learn about a topic, more advanced. As opposed to a master's of social work is applied to working directly in social services and with people, using lots of the theories that you did in psychology or sociology. So those are the difference between a professional program and then an academic program. Some of the things you want to look at when you're going into a particular field is the academic side of the house. If you are in a program where you're doing a lot more research, it's important to know what type of actual research programs there are, what type of opportunities for research that you can get at that particular school. Is there funding or grants for doing those research opportunities? So when you're looking for the program or institution, you can definitely look at that. Program makeup and delivery. So what is the setup of the program? So if it's online, what's the track record of that program? If part-time, what kind of class schedules are available? How well do you think you know how you would learn in that format? So is it virtual? Is it in person? Is it going to be something that you could do after work, or is it all throughout the day? So these are some things to consider. The admission process. So knowing what the prerequisites are for the program are going to be important for what programs you can apply to. So knowing what courses you may need. If you need a prerequisite, does the campus actually have the class you need to meet that prerequisite? So that's something that can kind of show you, can you be admitted fully, or is there a conditional admission for you going into the program if you don't have a prerequisite? Accreditation. So based on what program you're going into, knowing is the program being assessed by committees that know what type of education you need for that particular field? And then also class size. How big are you with the cohort? Are you coming in with one group? Are the class sizes manageable so you can have more time with your faculty member and ask more questions? This is something that you can investigate with some of the tools I'm going to show you later, how to look at some of this information. Your campus experience is also important. So the culture of the campus, essentially, how do they do things on that campus? What is their philosophy of education on the campus? Could be a way that you are able to look out, how does this fit with my particular needs? Looking at outcomes. So looking at data about the school, where do the graduates go? What type of employment do they find? After they complete their program, what are some of the opportunities that they have access to? Outcomes, where do those graduates go? What happens to alumni? Most of your institutions have data on that. And so when you're looking, that's something to look at. Living and learning. And so essentially, what is your living situation going to be? If you're needing to leave your home state, home city, What will your living situation be as far as whether you're going to be living on campus? Will you be able to do a roommate situation or be able to, rent or buy property near the school? So thinking about your living and learning is going to be important for whether or not you want to go into that particular program. Additionally, support services. What type of campus services are provided for graduate students at that school will be kind of help you can decide if this is going to be a fit for you. Also, community. You're maybe interested in going into a school, but maybe the surrounding city or the state that you live in is not as supportive as you'd like it to be. So thinking about the community that you would be living in while going to that campus is also something that will be beneficial for you to look at. For the campus experience, professional development engagements. So you want to look to see if there's any networking events with alumni, with employers. Is there a connection to the industry that you're interested in getting your degree in? This is a good way to get connected to people that can hire you or promote you in the positions you're currently in. This would be good to see if they have an amazing alumni office where they are able to connect you with those resources. So this is where we get into where to look. Where would you look for these programs? And I'm going to go on each of those. One of the big ones we tell students to look at if they're looking outside of the California-based school systems is our Peterson's Graduate Guide. Peterson has his grad school search tool. So one of the things that you could do is put in a program that you are interested in going into. So I'll use my undergrad degree. I'll put in sociology. And over here on the left-hand side, you're able to then look at what type of degree you're looking for. So you can say you're looking at, say I'm looking for a master's or even a doctoral program in that particular field. You can put location that you're interested in. So this is a nationwide site. Let's say I wanted to stay in California. You can then go down here to see the list of schools that offer the different sociology programs here. One of the things, I'm just going to click on Department of Sociology at UC Irvine. If I click on there, it's going to give you an overview of the program. So it essentially gives you what type of degree programs they offer for sociology. And it looks like they have a doctorate program in sociology. And here's the different concentrations. They tell you how many master's degrees they've awarded in their cohort, also doctoral degrees. If you scroll down, you'll see what their mission acceptance rate is. So you can see if this is a pretty competitive school to get into. You see that 180 applied, 43 were accepted, and then people that actually enrolled in the cohort were 10. Give you rates on what the application rates are. You can see application deadlines for the program. Definitely looking at what the testing entrance requirements are. Tells you for this particular one, they need a minimum GPA of 3.0. You take a GRE general test to get in. It goes into also the makeup of the student body. Here's the gender, race, and ethnicity of who's in the program. It looks at, here's the focus on research, like what are the faculty research structured in? So these are some of the research topics that the faculty have their research experience in. And then usually then they give you a contact, a location and contact. Sometimes they'll give you a chair of the department. Sometimes they'll get you an actual graduate program coordinator. And then you can reach out to them for more specific information. So doing research is very, very helpful to make sure you know, here's all the details that I need. Here's who I can ask questions about going into the program for. Individual colleges and universities. So if you wanted to talk and get some information about what are the resources for CSUB and specifically, I have a link to the CSUB Graduate Student Center. I'll be able to show you that. We also have a CSU graduate program search. So if you're interested in looking at what the other CSUs across California have, you can look at that. We also have a UC program search. If you were to click on the Graduate Student Center here, you're able to see all the different services that we have here on campus. So say that you are going to do your graduate program here at Cal State University Bakersfield. It's going to show you here's how you apply for different programs, how to apply to CSUB as a graduate student. Here's some available funding opportunities to you. The Grad Center is able to, they have different events and workshops. You can walk into their office. There's a study area. There's tons of resources for you here on campus. And so you have access to that. Also, if you had questions about different graduate programs here at Cal State University Bakersfield, here's the staff that can help you through that. If you were looking to do the CSU search of the different programs at the CSU, so let's say that you're looking for a specific campus, you can click on who you're looking for as far as the campuses here. You could do online degrees only. Let's say you're only available to do those. You can click that to filter. Do anthropology, for example. If I hit search, the filters here, so if you're looking specifically or for an advanced degree, master's, doctorate, it's going to show you the different CSU campuses that offer a master's degree or beyond based on your filters here. You can then look to see what format they're in, or if you want to do hybrid, in person, online, you can look at that format. You'll see fully F2F, that's fully face-to-face for a lot of these, but it's a good way to, if you were to click on an option, it's going to take you directly to their program page where you can get some more information about the programs and research. Okay, UC has a very similar system as well. So if you're wanting to do a graduate program at the UC system, they have where you're able to pick the campus that you're interested in, pick your academic interest, click search. And it looks like they have this one, UC has a Merced program for something specifically for PhD. Oh, mathematics. So there's tons of different filters that you can put in. You click on the particular program and it's going to take you directly to the program page where you can look at the admissions information, how to get financial support for the program. Very helpful when you're doing your research for graduate programs that you want to get into. There's also external grad school ranking list. And so this is where you can use, we have a US News and World Ranking report. They actually rank schools based on several different ranking systems. That's another way to research what type of programs that you want to get into. So in here, this is also where you can search by programs that you're interested in going into. So if I click, maybe I'll click business here, search, it does rankings based on location, tuition that's required. You can look at each of these. You can say, okay, I just want, maybe I want things in, let's say I'll just click Illinois, for example. This is also where you can go into each of these and find information about the particular graduate program, see where they rank in US rankings. So it says best, #1 best in business schools, #1 part-time MBA, do some specialty rankings for the different concentrations areas in business. So if you're looking to go to get information about, also very similar to Peterson's, where they tell you here's who was accepted, who applied. So the rate of the competitiveness for each of those programs is listed there too. So another way to research the programs that you can get into. Focusing in on faculty, this is important to reach out and ask questions. When you're finding all the websites that we went through and finding out more information about the program, they usually will have an area where it shows faculty and also their areas of interest. So this is where they did their most of their research. If there are things that you are interested in as well, when you're writing your personal statement to get into a graduate program, you can talk about that, that you research the faculty at that particular school. You could say that you have a similar interest in some of the things that they're studying. That shows that you did some research into the program that you are wanting to go into. So reaching out and asking questions of faculty, you can also reach out to them early just to see what type of research or assistant type based things that you could do while you're in school that could help with funding your program. There may be an assistantship or graduate assistant program where you can fund some of your program funding and go through with working with faculty. So that's another way to get into different areas and research your opportunities with other campuses. Final tips here, you want to stay organized, ask the questions you want to ask. That people usually are very excited about giving you information, especially if you're interested in what they're interested in, essentially. So be sure to ask questions, manage your time wisely. Think about starting early too. So application process should begin 10 to 15 months prior to you getting into your desired term of entry. So think about first applying for schools. You'll need to do a personal statement for some of those. Some maybe want a resume. Many want recommendations from either former faculty, professors, If it's a more applied program, they may want recommendations from an employer or former employers, a current employer. So carve out some time to apply for several programs that are of your interest. Trying to do it at the last minute can be very stressful. And we've had, students come through our office and say, this thing is due next week. And there's tons of things that they have to do before. So taking some time out to start early is going to be very beneficial for you. One of the things I do want to let you know is that, as I said earlier, we're going to be having a graduate and professional school fair here on campus at the Student Rec Center gym. That's going to be Thursday, November 3rd. If you wanted to see who's going to be there, you can find it in the handshake system. So csub.joinhandshake.com. I'm going to show you quickly who we have coming to that event. In the handshake system, like I said, it's csub.joinhandshake.com. You can go into the events section, and then I would click on Career Fair as your filter. And here's the CSUB Graduate and Professional School Fair. So right now we have about 38 organizations or programs that will essentially be promoting their programs here at the fair. So you'll see, like we have education, Antioch, we have a lot of our health sciences here. Tons of different programs that you can come in and talk to a recruiter about, ask questions about their program specifically for things that you want to get information on. We will also have some of our CSUB graduate programs in attendance there. So you'll be able to see that. But we have organizations throughout California and also across the United States that will be represented there. So you want to do a little bit of a search. This is something that is available to you as a CSUB student or alumni. For people that are coming off campus, you'll probably most likely have to pay for parking, but we will let you into this event if you decide to come on campus for this. Here is my contact information if you wanted to ask about anything career, graduate school specific, please reach out to me. So we have career@csub.edu. I'll get messages that way. csub.joinhandshake.com has lots of information about our services. That's where you can make appointments with career counselors. We have jobs posted in there. And social media, if you follow us on social media, lots of our events are listed at CSUBCC.
So I want to thank Katrina again for her wonderful presentation.
Thank you all.